Hi guys, it's Mrs. Melcher here. Today I want to talk to you about naming covalent compounds. Covalent compounds are atomic compounds that contain nonmetals. You'll remember that we were talking about the different parts of the periodic table, and on this lovely periodic table online, there's a little key here that tells you what's a metal and what's a nonmetal. So today, focusing on covalent compounds and naming covalent compounds, you'll be looking at this blue category here, which are the noble gases, this green category, which are some nonmetals, and also the metalloids are named with the nonmetal naming method. You'll see here, here, and here. Okay, so let's get to naming. How do you name a compound that has only nonmetals in it? Well, there are some different rules, and we're going to talk about those today. Okay, here's two examples of covalent compounds, CO and CO2. You might be familiar with what CO2 is, carbon dioxide. You might be familiar with what CO is, it's carbon monoxide. Notice how they're different. This one has di in it, and this one has mono in it. But you can also notice what's the same. Carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. So they both end in ide. And they're going to end in ide if it's just an element as the second part. The name for the end or the ending part will change if it's has more than just one element. And you'll talk about that when you're in regular chemistry. Another thing that you might notice is that one's called monoxide and the other's called dioxide, and that's because of the prefix naming system. One of them has mono and the other one has di. So if you have one of an element, its prefix is mono. If you have two, its prefix is di. Could you guess what the prefix would be for 3? If you said tri, then you're right. You could try to guess 4, but it's tetra. So that one is a little bit more confusing. The prefix for 5, if you have 5 atoms of something, is penta. 6 is hex, like a hexagon. 7 is a difficult one, it's hept. 8 is pretty easy, it's oct, like an octagon or an octopus. 9 is known, and 10 is deca. Now, there are more prefixes, but those are the ones that you just need to know for now. Let's say that you have C2H6. How do you name it? Well, because there's 2 carbons, its name will be dicarbon. You just keep the carbon for the first element, and then the second one, you'll put the prefix first, hex, put part of the element, hyd, like hydrogen, and then it'll end in ide. Hydride ends in ide, just like up here. Okay, let's do another one. B2, and we'll just do H again, H8. Okay, so this one's name is diboron. See, it's di, and then it has the whole element name. The next part is going to be oct, hydride. Hydrogen hydride. Okay, another example. We could have SiO2. Si stands for silicon. And then di, we have the first part of oxygen, and then it ends in ide. Dioxide, silicon, dioxide. All right, see what you notice here? This one has di before, this one has di before it, and this one has nothing. Now, why is that? Well, that's a special rule for naming, and the rule is if the first element only has one atom, then there is no prefix. So that is a special rule, and you can see that rule in effect up here as well, where this one was named carbon, see, no prefix, monoxide, there is a prefix on the second one. And same thing with this, it's carbon, but this one is dioxide. So if there's only one atom of something, there's no prefix, but there's always a prefix on the back end, and then it'll end in ide if there's only a single element, which all of these do have. Something that we're